Okay, so I'm Galit Zamler. I'm from Israel. I'm the founder of the Entrepreneurship for Kids program and co-founder of Vickathon, experiential hackathons, which we won't talk about them today. We will talk about Entrepreneurship for Kids program. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and when I say serial entrepreneur, I mean that over the years, I was a co-founder of all these ventures. And as you can see, some of them failed and part of them succeeded. Most of them were failure, but this is the journey that entrepreneurs are going through. Actually, we're talking about 35% of success, which I don't know if you know, but this is considered to be quite well. And in 2009, while I was working on one of these projects and the development took too long, I occasionally started the Entrepreneurship for Kids program. And since then, it has been spread to many dozens of schools actually in Israel for in grades 2nd to 12. And you know, as entrepreneurs, once you achieve your goal, because this was my goal at the beginning, to reach as many students as I can, you set a higher goal. So you want to achieve more than that. So I decided that I want to reach schools outside of Israel, abroad, and the first one was in the United States. And then I translated my website into English. And as you can see, the program has been implemented in Brazil, South Africa, Tanzania, India, China, Vietnam, and Papua New Guinea, and more. Let's start with what is entrepreneurship, and I will explain why I'm so enthusiastic about entrepreneurship education from an early age. Entrepreneurship, there are many definitions, but this is the one I chose to present to you, is about starting a process of creating something new that has a uniqueness and it has a beneficial to the society. You have to bring an added value, and this can be in any domain. So it can be something innovative, but it doesn't have to be. It can be something in science, in social one, whatever, but it has to have a uniqueness and beneficial. And when we talk about entrepreneurship education, there are 4 components actually. One is the knowledge. We teach the students, we expose them to knowledge from the entrepreneurial arena, and there's a lot to learn about entrepreneurship. But we don't stop there, because it's not just theory. We learn that entrepreneurs, they don't just talk, they don't just come up with great ideas, but they are also do something about it. So we also practice and we establish whatever it is, but a project, so they will practice how is it to be entrepreneurs. And we also, as the one who guides them as mentors, we keep motivated them for what they are doing and show them the right way to keep working on what they are doing. And by this, we also, through all of this, we instill skills in the students, skills that will give them the ability to cope with our dynamic world. And when I say dynamic world, I started at 2009, and no one talked then about the AI, artificial intelligence. But now we understand that this is something that changed our lives dramatically. But again, when we do all of these, for these components, we actually give them the ability to cope with no matter what will happen here in our world. And I want to define the skills that I'm talking about, because skills, it can be many skills. So let's just mention a few of them. It's about be someone who decides and does. Means that you don't just think, don't just have good ideas, don't have make decisions, but you also an action man. You do things. You believe in yourself, because with this, this is what is motivated you to keep going and not be afraid of failure. The desire to learn and grow, something that doesn't stop. We know that it's continue, not just in the school, but also after school. The ability to resilience or whatever, but it's something when you have failed, as long as you learned something about it, so it's not a failure, it's an experience, and you know how to learn how to deal with this and keep moving to the next one and being determined about what you are doing. So you don't start and then with the first obstacle stop and try something else. No, you try and you are focused on I will talk about it, the courage to dare. If you believe in yourself, you have the courage to dare. And here is our role as the mentors who instill these skills in the students and motivate them and guide them and be there for them and help them get this courage. We are supposed to be target focused, because there are many distractions around us. And I can tell you, as an entrepreneur, there are always people who will tell you, but what you are doing, you can do a little bit different. Maybe try to focus in another target audience. Many, have good intentions, but they make you not be focused on your idea. And to be focused, you have to keep on moving. Yes, listen to others, but do whatever you want to do. It's about flexible thinking. Because our world is everything is changing around us, and we need to be flexible and make adaptations. And not just because we decided from the beginning to do something, we will continue in this way. It's about internal motivation. We don't need someone else to tell us what to do. It's in us. I'm getting up in the morning, and I know I have the motivation to keep doing what I'm doing because I believe in it. I love what I do. I'm willing to cope with all challenges that are raising, no matter if I want or not, but they are. It's about taking responsibility for our actions and decisions, not just blaming everyone else for what went wrong, because it won't lead us to anywhere. It's about creativity. Once it's not being creativity, I must say, it's not just coming up with creative ideas for inventions. No, creativity, it's along the whole process of being an entrepreneur. It can be working with the teamwork, the pricing model, can be in step is unstable, and many other skills. And you see it that there are no relation between them, but once I will put it here, you can see it's like a complete puzzle. This complete puzzle, actually, once you have all these skills, and can tell it honestly, it's not easy to have all these skills at a high rate, because we are just human beings. But that's why we really recommend to work in teams that help you complete and empower you and what you are doing. So that was about the skills. When we teach entrepreneurship, I told you there is a theory, the skills, the mentoring, motivation, and the practical. So let's talk about the theory that we teach the students. Let me see if I can share from here. Okay. Yes, you can see.
Yes.
So when the way I do it in the Entrepreneurship for Kids program is we have a very comprehensive syllabus that teaches the students all aspects of being an entrepreneur. And you can't teach everything in 1 year. Of course, not in just one course of 3 months. It takes time. And I also tell the teachers, because we train the teachers and they teach the students, don't hurry. Don't take your time. The idea is to make the students understand and embrace everything that we teach them. So it starts about just the basic, who is an entrepreneur? Because sometimes students don't know. For us, it may be sounds clear, but not for them. We learn them the skills of entrepreneurship. And I must say that everything, even here negotiation, which is something which sounds very serious topic, we teach in an engaging way. These days, most of the students need to learn through activities, through video clips, and they need to be engaged. It's not that the teacher stands in front of them and deliver the message. It doesn't work anymore. So we teach them everything that we need. They also prepare a business plan, one-pager, according to their age, according to their abilities. So we have a light version and a more comprehensive one. So we have here really many topics that all came from the entrepreneurial arena, which I went through, and I know that all others, like pricing, teamwork, many other, budget. I will jump maybe to the last one, just to show you that we always keep updating this program. And since the AI entered our life, we launched this using artificial intelligence to develop a program. Actually, you can almost develop everything with artificial intelligence, and it's amazing. And then we learn what do we need to do to make it real. And in most cases, there are some things that we need to go out, ask the real customers, and not just, it won't be enough to ask the AI, how do you say, all these language tools. Okay, so now I will show you, I will be back to the presentation. Okay, in the process of entrepreneurship education, there are a few things. First, we want the students to be aware. Aware to what? Aware to their surroundings, because there are things that we are used to them, but they are not in the best way. Maybe they are not supposed to be like this. Maybe we can change them. So first, be aware of our surroundings, and then ask questions. Why things work like this? Can it be different? So it's basically means think critical, in a critical thinking of things that are around us, and not just ask questions, but also go and research. If we have questions, we need to find answers. It's like Newton, who saw the apple fell down, and he asked, why does the apple fall down? Does it fall down? Why doesn't it go up or to the side? And then when he asked a question, he went to research and he found the gravity force. So this is exactly what we expect the students to do, to be aware, ask questions, go and research, and maybe something huge will come up from it. They will experience and they will fail, and it is, again, I say it is okay to fail as long as you learn something out of it. Because if you have learned something out of it, it means you gained experience. It's not a failure. But if you blame all others for your failure, you failed. And the last thing is imagination. We need to use our imagination. How can reality look different? So maybe in our head, we can see things differently, in a better way. And once we can see it, we will know what we need to do in order to make it real. But when we teach it in the class, but not in the class, just when you are at home, want to teach your kids, you must to pay attention that you have a supportive environment and not depressive one. It means that when someone has an idea, we won't tell him, no, it won't work, no one will help you, no one needs it. No, we will encourage. It doesn't mean that all ideas are great. No, it's, of course, most of the ideas are not great, but we will be the supportive environment. And to do this, I had to convince at the beginning the educators, because the children, they have imagination, but the problem was with the educators. When they became adults, their imagination became narrow. So I had to show them examples of people who had ideas, who were considered crazy ones, delusional ones, and came true. And I will show you some examples. As you know, I'm from Israel, and this is Theodor Herzl. He was the visionary of the Jewish state. And when he thought of establishing the Israeli state, he said everyone told he was crazy because of his dream. But crazy, here I'm sitting here with you, and I'm sitting at my home in Israel. So he may be considered crazy, but his dream became true. Or the right brother, they considered as sane. People didn't believe they can make a airplane or a machine that can fly, but they did it. So, and another example is the organic food. I know for sure in Israel, and I'm sure it was also abroad, that at the beginning, people said, why do you think people will buy organic food for more money? The cucumber looks the same as the other one. Why? But there are people who are willing to pay more for organic food. So it's not a crazy idea, even though it was considered like this one. Or selling bottled water. Here, I remember, I was very young, but I remember that people said, are you crazy? Do you think the Israelis are suckers? They won't pay for bottled water. They have free water in the taps. Why do you think they will pay? But yes, we pay. We all have bottled water and we use it. And maybe the last and the crazy one is the drones, which now we see their significant, importance in the battles. But the pioneers at the beginning, when they developed it, they were considered as crazy, like people who play with the children toys. And here it came into reality. So when we show this to the students and to the teachers, they understand that maybe we want, first they understand that they are not supposed to laugh at any idea that come up from the students, because there may be a seed in it that can be turned into something huge and real. It gives all those who have great creativity to the courage to stand and share their ideas, because there were people like them whom ideas came true. So maybe their idea can come true as well. Okay, something else. When we teach entrepreneurship, and I know it depends about culture, because my program is in many different countries. There are we can be focused on inventions or social projects, and I can tell you that in Israel, social projects are very common, and in schools or business projects. And here, for example, in Israel, business projects are not so common. Although the students, they do want business projects, but the schools want them to implement social projects or inventions. What I recommend is to go, when we teach them the entrepreneurship courses, try to implement one of each type of project. I think they learn a lot from these different types of projects. I told you that they can come up with ideas, but it doesn't mean that all ideas are great. So how do we deal with this? So here is an example of students that stands in front of the class, share his idea, and the students, what they do, they ask questions. So let's say, and we explain it to the students, if you may think that the idea is not useful at all, or no one needs it. So you will ask, instead of saying it, you will ask, who is your target audience? Maybe you think there is something that does the same. So you will ask what you offer is different from the other one. So we will ask questions that make the one with the idea understand the difficulties that we see, but we don't discourage him. We encourage them to keep working on it and find the answers. And after they find the answers and they may decide they want to keep working on their ideas, they form teams. And they work in easy, but it's not. Working in teams is one of the main difficulties, not just for students, for adults as well, because we need to deal with different opinions, different culture sometimes, and values. So it's not an easy thing to learn, but once we start at an early age, we learn how to cope with others, and we shape this skill of working with others. So as I told you, they make a business plan with all sections that we have in a business plan. And again, it depends at their age, at their idea. But even if it's a social project, I explained, yes, you need to make a business plan, because it's not for getting investment. It's just to make in order about the details of the implementation of the idea for you. I show some examples of implementations in schools. Here, sometimes when it's inventions, it may end just with a model, not a real project. Sometimes when it's a social or business one, it may ends with a real project that they made real. Sometimes here, like this, I'll show you. They make a conference where they invited parents and the community to see their projects. Okay, sometimes they invite me and other experienced entrepreneurs to listen to their ideas, their pitches, and get feedback. And sometimes they invite all parents, and they share their ideas, and we make sure that the parents are supportive, and again they get feedback. And after such sessions, the parents feel very proud of them because it's about their children. Sometimes it ends with a real project. It may be just a prototype or a real product that they produce, but not many, because they are still students. We want them to be students now. We don't want them to be business people now, but we want them to learn everything about it. So they make some pieces and sell it. So they will go through the process of selling and pricing. And sometimes they go to a manufacturer or a company. They present their idea to the managers there and get feedback. It has to be relevant to their idea. At the end, they sit down in teams and they talk about the lessons they learned and conclusions. And most of the times they talk about how they worked as teams. And I found that usually they say, I did more than you, you did nothing, you should do more next time, and things like this. But it's okay. This is the way they learn from the process. So that's what I can share with you about entrepreneurship for education for kids. And you are welcome to contact me. This is my website, Tomorrow's Success. And as I like to end every presentation of mine, it's your turn.
Thank you, Galit. Thank you very much. I am sure people will be contacting you. I'm sorry to cut it off though, because we have to go on. Our next presenter is.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I know, but we had questions. I'm sorry.
Never mind. It's okay. We all know each other.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.